The sleeping giants in a quiet corner of the galaxy far beyond known trade routes and star systems, they waited. 10,000 black ships floated in the cold darkness. Silent, motionless, lifeless. They were massive, each the size of a city. Their metal hulls were dark like burned stone, covered in strange markings that no alien race could read. They called them the Black Armada. No one knew who built them. No one knew where they came from. Alien historians believed they had been there for 10,000 years, maybe longer. Some said they were warships from a dead empire. Some said they were weapons of the gods. Others whispered, "Don't wake them. Don't even look at them too long." So the galaxy agreed. Leave the Black Armada alone. For hundreds of years, every alien empire followed this silent rule. Then the humans came. Humanity was young in galactic time. They had only reached the stars 200 years ago. They were fast learners, clever builders, and very curious. They asked questions that other species were afraid to ask. They explored places others feared to go. Captain Rhea Morgan led one of Earth's deep space exploration fleets. Her ship, Nova's Edge, found the Black Armada by accident while charting an unknown sector. At first, they thought it was a moon field or a dark nebula. But when they got closer, they saw the ships, and then they saw the eyes. Each black ship had a single red circle at the front, like a camera, or maybe an eye. But all of them were closed, as if they were asleep. Captain Rhea sent a message back to Earth. "We have found something. 10,000 ships silent, not moving. No signs of life. I recommend full scientific study." The news reached the Galactic Council within days. Panic followed. Ambassadors from the Tralax, the Vorox, and the Siruan demanded that humanity leave immediately. "You don't understand what you found," one alien warned. "Those ships are death," another said. "They destroyed the Makers. They will destroy you." But humans didn't run. They were not afraid of stories. To them, myths were puzzles, and puzzles must be solved. Captain Rhea ignored the warnings. A small human probe was sent to scan the nearest black ship. It moved slowly, quietly. The ship didn't react. No sound, no power, no defense. The probe touched the ship's surface. A tiny spark jumped from metal to metal, then, click, a red light blinked. The eye opened. Just one ship, just one eye. But the moment it opened, every sensor on Nova's Edge screamed. Energy readings spiked. Old systems on the ship began to power up. And far away, across the void of space, other black ships began to glow, one by one. Captain Rhea stood frozen on the bridge. "Is it alive?" her engineer asked. "No," Rhea whispered. "It's waking up." Across the galaxy, alien leaders watched the readings in horror. The Tralax Emperor slammed his fist on the table. "They've done it. They've woken." The giants, the Vorox, called for emergency meetings. The Sarun began evacuating border colonies, but the humans didn't understand the fear. They didn't know the legends. They only saw history in front of them, and they wanted to know more. For 3 days, only that one ship stayed awake. It didn't move. It didn't speak. It just watched Nova's Edge from a distance, like it was studying them. Then, on the 4th day, the ship sent a signal. No sound. Just a repeating wave. A pulse. Earth scientists decoded it. The message was short. "You are not the Makers. You are not the Masters. Who dares awaken the war sleep?" Captain Rhea looked at the message. Her hands trembled slightly. "What does it mean?" her second-in-command asked. "I think," she said slowly, "we just knocked on a sleeping god's door." Back on Earth, debates began. Should humanity run or stay? Should they fight or speak? Some wanted to leave. Others wanted to shoot first. But in the shadows of space, the Black Armada was no longer sleeping. One by one, more eyes began to open, and deep inside the darkest ship, something ancient moved. Not metal, not machine. Something else. The first signal, it started with a whisper. Not sound, not voice, but a pulse, cold and deep, like a heartbeat from a giant made of metal. And memory, the black ship that had opened its eye, was now awake. It didn't speak, it didn't move, but it sent a signal, not to the humans, not to Earth. The signal was older than human language, older than any alien language. It went into deep space, into the void, to something that had not answered in 10,000 years. In the control room of Nova's Edge, the crew watched in silence. "Signal is moving faster than light," said Lieutenant Harris. "It's not communication," said Captain Rhea. "It's a call." "To who?" asked the engineer. Rhea didn't answer, because in her heart, she already knew. Within hours, strange things began to happen across the galaxy. In the Vurox homeworld, ancient ruins began to shake. On a distant moon near the Tralax system, buried metal bones glowed, and in a forgotten space graveyard near the Sarun border, an old satellite exploded, and a black shadow rose from the dust. The signal had reached them. The Black Armada was waking up. Back on Earth, scientists tried to decode the signal. Dr. Lin, a language expert, stared at the strange pattern. "It's not speech," she said. "It's a command, a very old one, simple but powerful." "What does it say?" the president asked. Dr. Lin looked pale. "It says, awaken, remember, assemble." The Galactic Council went into full panic. "Alien," leaders shouted over each other. "Shut down human space travel. Block all signals from the Black Sector. Destroy the human ship if we must." But it was too late. The signal had already reached its targets, and the ships were moving. At first, they turned slowly, like giants stretching after long sleep. Then they began to align, perfect formation, like soldiers. 10,000 ships, black as night, drifting into a battle pattern. No weapons were active, no shields, but every ship now had one glowing red eye, watching, waiting, and still, silent. Captain Rhea stood at the window of Nova's Edge, staring at the massive fleet. "They're not attacking," said Harris. "No," Rhea said. "They're organizing." For what? Rhea didn't know. But deep inside she felt it wasn't just war, it was something bigger. On board the first awakened ship, far below the surface, something ancient stirred. A large chamber lit up, walls, made of black crystal and silver light. Inside a tall capsule, something not human began to rise. It had 2 arms, 2 legs, and a face that looked almost human. But its eyes were black stars, and its voice was not a voice. It was a frequency. It spoke one word, "Verify," and the ship answered, "Makers not detected, humans detected. DNA match, 39%. Threat level? Undetermined. Test them." On Earth, another signal arrived, this time to all human systems. Not code, not words, a vision. Everyone saw it, on screens, in their dreams, even in the sky. A great war, a galaxy burning. Humans leading machines into fire. The fall of stars, the rise of Earth, and then silence. The message ended with one phrase. They slept because the war ended. They wake because it begins again. In the dark, the Black Armada prepared, not for attack, not for peace, but for judgment. The message, it did not come as words. It came as a storm of light, a dream of fire, a memory not your own. Every screen on Earth turned black. Then, one by one, they lit up with images from a forgotten age, 1,000,000 ships flying in perfect formation, stars exploding, worlds falling, into silence. A throne made of metal and ash. A figure in armor, tall, faceless, watching as galaxies burned. People screamed, some dropped to their knees, children cried, not knowing why. Soldiers stared at their rifles as if they had suddenly become too heavy. The vision ended, and a line appeared in red. You are not the makers, you are not the masters. Who dares awaken the war sleep? The message repeated across human colonies, on Mars, on Titan, on the deep sea bases of Europa. Even the people hiding underground in Earth's old bunkers saw it. No one could block it. No one could delete it. The message had come from every direction, like the Black Armada had surrounded the galaxy. At the United Earth Command Center, top, leaders gathered. General Kale stood in front of the glowing map. All 10,000 ships have moved into position, he said. They've not attacked, but they're watching. The president asked, "Are we under threat?" Kyle didn't blink. "I think we're under trial." Back on the Nova's edge, Captain Rhea Morgan stood silent as the message replayed again. "You are not the makers." She felt it deep in her bones. Not fear. Not exactly. Something worse. Recognition. Her engineer spoke quietly. "Captain, why does it feel like they know us?" "They do," Rhea said. "They're not talking to aliens, they're talking to humans." On an alien moon, far from any sun, the oldest alien race, the Vanari, gathered in secret. Their leader, a creature older than Earth's pyramids, whispered to its students. The Black Armada served only one master. Long ago that master disappeared. Some say the master was human. "Impossible," said one student. The elder replied, "Is it? Look at their courage. Look at their madness. Only one race in the galaxy challenges gods with a smile." Back on Earth, scientists examined the energy patterns of the message. "It's not just communication," said Dr. Lin. "It's a test, a scan. The Armada is reading us." Reading what? Our minds, our history, our decisions. Captain Rhea received a new signal, just 4 words. It wasn't in English, but somehow she understood it. Choose, fight, or kneel. Humanity was being asked a question. Not, do you want peace? But do you deserve to exist? General Kale stood before the world's cameras. He said, "We didn't start this war. But if they want to test us, then let them. We are human, we fight, we survive, we rise." In the cold of space, the red eyes of the Armada blinked once. And one ship broke from the group, a single dark shape. It vanished, and reappeared in Earth orbit, hovering silently above the blue planet. It didn't attack, it didn't move. It just stared, watching, judging, waiting. Humanity strikes first. Earth had never been so quiet. No music, no laughter, no war cries, just one thought shared across every human mind. Do we wait, or do we strike first? The black ship above Earth did not move. It hovered like a shadow, silent, watching, measuring. Every hour it stayed. Fear grew louder, not just on Earth but across the galaxy. The alien races had seen this pattern before. First comes the silence, then comes the message, then comes the end. But never had anyone struck first, because everyone had been too afraid. Until now. Human warships began to rise from Earth's orbit like sparks from a flame. 10, 20, 50. They surrounded the black ship in tight formation. Inside, the command ship Iron Resolve, General Kale, stood on the bridge. He gave one order. Do not fire to destroy, fire to wake it up. The weapons didn't launch missiles. They launched messages, energy bursts, sonic pulses, signal disruptors. Humanity was not trying to win. They were trying to poke the sleeping god and see if it could bleed. The first shot hit the black ship. No damage. The second shot followed. Stronger, louder, still no response. Then came the third shot, a high-frequency blast coated with Earth's ancient languages, war songs, and battle cries. The kind of sound only war machines might understand. And then, the ship moved. Not fast, not wild. Slow. Smooth. Controlled. Like a lion rising from sleep looking at the small creature that had bitten its paw. Its red eye pulsed. Once, twice. Then it sent a message. Not words, not code, but pain. Every human ship's system screamed. Sparks flew. Lights dimmed. Men and women clutched their heads as sharp noise flooded their minds. But no one ran. They had expected pain. They had asked for it. Then came the second message. A single image, beamed directly into every screen, helmet and brain, a human skeleton, burned black, standing beside a shadow. The shadow had no face, but it wore Earth's flag on its shoulder. Captain Rhea, still aboard Nova's Edge, whispered, "They know who we are." Her officer asked, "Is that one of us?" "No," she said. "It's what they think we'll become." Back on Earth, General Kale stood tall, his voice broadcast to all colonies. "We gave them a chance. They chose silence. We struck first, not to destroy, but to prove we are not afraid. Now, let them answer." And they did. Across the galaxy, 5 more black ships lit up, then 50, then 500. The Armada was waking fully now, but something was different this time. They weren't just watching. They were moving, forming patterns, calculating, preparing. For what? No one knew. But one thing was certain. Humanity had thrown the first stone, and the giants had opened their eyes. The forgotten bloodline, in the silence after the storm, secrets began to whisper. Not from the ships, not from the stars, but from within. Deep, beneath Earth's surface in a hidden vault older than recorded history, something stirred. A small group of scientists had found strange artifacts, black metal shards, glowing with soft red light. They pulsed as if alive. Dr. Lin, the lead scientist, held one shard carefully. "It's not just metal," she said. "It's a key." Suddenly, the shard flashed. Visions flooded her mind. Ancient wars, towering ships, and people who looked just like humans, but different. Across the galaxy, the Black Armada's ships aligned in a new formation, a pattern known only to those who remembered. Inside the largest ship, the heart of the fleet, a chamber opened. There lay a sleeping figure, not machine, not human, something in between. Its skin was pale, almost translucent. Its chest was covered with strange symbols, symbols that matched the shards on Earth. It was a remnant. Captain Rhea studied the ancient texts that Earth's scientists sent her. Long ago, before the stars sang, there was a bloodline, the Zoo makers. They created the Armada, and in time they vanished. Only their children remained, the first humans. The bloodline was forgotten, but the Armada remembers. Her heart pounded. Could it be true? Had humanity once been part of the Armada? Had they forgotten their own origin? The Black Armada was not just a weapon. It was a family. And now, it was judging its children. On Earth, governments scrambled to understand. Some wanted to fight harder. Others begged for peace. But Dr. Lin warned, if the Armada sees us as their lost bloodline, what happens if we fail their test? In the darkest corners of space, the awakened figure in the chamber opened its eyes. Black stars burned in its gaze. It whispered a single name, Rhea. Captain Rhea shivered as her comm buzzed. A voice, cold and ancient, echoed in her mind. You are our blood. Prove your worth, or be forgotten. Humanity's war was no longer just about survival. It was about identity. The trial of fire. Stars burned red. The sky seemed to crack, and Earth held its breath. The Black Armada did not ask for words. They asked for a trial, a test beyond weapons, beyond warships, a test of will. Captain Rhea stood before the glowing hollow map of the galaxy. The message was clear. Prove your strength, prove your heart, prove your blood. No one knew how, no one knew where. Only one place was marked on the ancient map. The Crucible. The Crucible was a myth, a place said to burn away lies and secrets, a place where only the worthy survived. Now, a beacon lit in space, the Armada's challenge. On Nova's Edge, Rhea's crew prepared for the unknown. "The trial isn't just battle," said the ship's engineer. "It's a fire. We will be tested in ways we never imagined." Rhea nodded. "We don't just fight to live, we fight to be." Meanwhile, on Earth, leaders debated. Some said, "We must surrender." Others shouted, "We fight to the last breath." But the Black Armada ignored all politics. They only waited. The Armada's red eyes shone brighter. Ships moved closer to the beacon. Rhea's ship moved with them. Inside the command room, an alarm sounded. The message came again. "Enter the crucible or be erased." Rhea looked at her crew. "No choice," she said. "We face the fire, or we die forgotten." As Nova's Edge jumped through space to the crucible, a silent question filled the void. What will humanity prove? The final stand. The crucible waited, in silence. A dark, swirling storm of stars and fire. A place where legends lived or died. Nova's Edge moved closer, cutting through the black clouds like a blade. Captain Rhea stood on the bridge, her eyes fierce but calm. "This is the last chance," she said softly. "We fight not just for Earth, but for who we are." The Black Armada ships surrounded them, thousands of red eyes glowing like warning lights in the dark. No words, no signals, just watching, waiting. Suddenly, the storm around the crucible exploded. A massive wave of energy surged toward Nova's Edge. Shields flared, engines screamed. The trial had begun. Inside the ship, alarms rang. Crew worked quickly, repairing, firing, dodging. But this was no normal battle. The storm seemed alive, testing their courage and strength. Every attack, every failure, every moment was a question. "Are you worthy?" Suddenly a voice echoed in Rhea's mind. Deep, ancient, but clear. "You have fought well. Now show us your heart." Rhea closed her eyes and remembered Earth. The wars, the losses, the hope. She spoke with all her soul. "We are not perfect. We are not gods. But we fight for freedom, for family, for future. We are human, and that is our greatest strength." The storm around them calmed. The Black Armada ships lowered their weapons. The dark figure from the chamber appeared on the screen. It smiled, a shadow, but with warmth. "You have passed the trial of fire. You are our bloodline, our legacy." The Armada began to move away, no longer enemies but something more. Guardians, allies. Captain Rhea breathed deeply. The war was over, but a new story had begun.